In my last video, I demonstrated how to use the Shopee Fees Calculator to check whether the Shopee is charging correctly for all the fees that impose onto our shops. After publishing the video, I received a numerous feedback from you guys and I updated the file. Hi, I'm Han from 100 Drawers. In today's video, I will be showing you the changes I made and also explain a little on the formulas on how and why I did it. There's feedback where some users are having trouble using the template. For that, I decided in this video I will go deep into the formulas, explaining how I use them in detail, so you might be able to create your own fees calculator. I will be showing and explaining the updates for both the Excel version and the Google Sheets version. Look for the video chapters in the video progress bar or in the video description to go to specific topics. The major changes are the updates for most of the formulas. In the original release, only order reports from to ship can be used. So I updated the formulas, making it smart to look for the exact columns. In the Excel version, I use this formula to look for unique order IDs. The unique function and the filter function, together with the hashtag spill range that will be used later in this video, are the functions that are only available in the latest version of Excel, which is why some people are not able to use the template after downloading it. The offset function is to get the entire column of the order ID. It is offset from the order report cell A1 by 1 row down and 0 column. And the number of rows to get is located at M5, where it is counting the number of rows from A2 to A999999. With the unique function over the offset function, we can get every unique order ID. Next formula is the most important, in which the format of it is used in most of the columns. It is quite lengthy and there are functions inside functions. But if I break it down, you will understand it fairly easily. The first function is if. It checks on the cell M5 for more than 0, which means there is order data in the order report and it will execute something, or else it will return empty. That something is actually an index match function with an extra offset function to look for a specific column of values. I call this format of formula the index offset match. In this first example, we need it to look for the SKU weight column. In the index function, in order to make the formula smart enough to find a desired column, I use the offset function where it is offsetting from the cell A1 in the order report, offset 1 row down, and I use the match function to look for a specific column header from the entire header of the order report. 0 for exact match. Closing the match function, -1 as we are offsetting from the first column, and that will look for the order number that we need to offset to. Lastly, the size of the offset is M5 number of rows and 1 column in size. A side note, changing the lookup value inside the match function will redirect to another desired column. Back to the index function, the second argument is to get the corresponding rows. If you have used index match before, which is similar to the function VLOOKUP, usually you will use it to get a single value, but this time around, I will use it to get a list of values. How? For the second match function in this formula, I need it to look for the order ID from the left and return the row number from the order report A2 to A999999 and 0 for the exact match. Here's the trick. Add a hashtag behind the cell reference. It will get the spill range of the formula in that cell. Spill range means the entire array generated by a single formula, like the order ID formula earlier. And that will list out all the SKU weight based on the order IDs on the left. Using the same format of the formulas, we change the lookup value in the first match function to look for other columns. Column of shipping fee is the header of estimated shipping fee. Shipping paid is the buyer paid shipping fee. Shipping rebate is the shipping rebate estimate. Seller discount is the seller voucher. Shopee discount is Shopee voucher. Item total, we leave it for now. Total paid is grand total. And the columns of fees charged by Shopee is the commission fee, service fee, and transaction fee. For all the fees, we need to add a round function to round up to 2 decimal points. Now you may be asking, the figure of this fee are already in 2 decimal points in the order report. Why use the round function? I am not sure about the exact reason, but if I do not add the round function, the fees will be different from what we get in the calculation formula, even with the calculation rounded to 2 decimal points and both figures look the same. Before writing the formula for item total and all the fees calculations, we first move to the helper columns. The order IDs here are different from the order IDs in the main table. In the main table, we need all the unique order IDs. In the helper column will be the order IDs in SKU level, which means if an order has multiple SKUs, the order ID will show multiple times. In short, it will be the exact copy of the order ID column in the order report. For that, I use offset. To just offset one row down from A1, M5 number of rows and 1 column of size. The item price is the price for every SKU, which means it is also the exact column of product subtotal. To get the column of values, I use the same method as in other columns, the offset match formula, and also round it to 2 decimal points. The item total is a simple one. When there is order data in the order report, it will use the SUMIF function to sum the item price based on the order ID on the left. Now let's get into the fees calculations. We will start from the transaction fees, as it is the simplest to calculate. Here, I use the if function to check that the B11 spill range is not equal to empty. It is similar to checking M5 greater than 0. Both are interchangeable. Then it will do the calculation. Get the value of total paid times transaction fee percentage and the 1 plus SST percentage. Of course, we round it up to 2 decimal points. Next is the service fee. Service fee is calculated from the item total minus seller discount times service fee percentage and 1 plus SST percentage, round to 2 decimal points. The last fee is the commission fee, and it is a bit tricky. Because if you join the Shopee International Platform or SIP, commission fee is waived, at least from what I observe. The main calculation of the commission fee is the same with service fee. Item total minus seller discount and times fee percentage and 1 plus SST percentage, round to 2 decimal points. To check for SIP order, we need to take this calculation and put it into an if function, where the if function will check username is not equal to Ecommerce Trading, the username for SIP account. To get the username bracket buyer column, we use the index offset match like any other formula does. Fees checking column is a simple one. Just the nested if functions to compare the calculated fees and the amount charged by Shopee. Then it will return 1 if there is a difference. The last one is to list out all the order IDs with fee error. Since we have the indicator for order IDs with fee error, we can use the filter function to filter out all the required order IDs. A straightforward formula. Now, what's left is the conditional formatting to highlight the fees errors. The conditional formatting is just a visual aid to help us read the table much easier. You may pause the video if you would like to analyze them. And that is how I designed the Excel version. For the Google Sheets version, it uses different formulas from Excel versions because Google Sheets does not support the hashtag spill range function. Google Sheets does not automatically turn formulas into an array of values. Instead, it requires putting a formula inside an array formula function. However, the array formula function will not support the index match format of formulas, but lookup functions like VLOOKUP are applicable. Luckily, there is a trick we can use to make the VLOOKUP function much simpler to use. I'll explain, but first, let's look at the order ID column. I use the offset match function inside a unique function to get all the unique IDs, similar to the Excel version. Offset from the order report A1 one row down. Match function to look for order ID column number in the report header row A1 to BZ1. 0 for exact match. -1 as we are offsetting from the first column. M5 number of rows and 1 column of size. We can also directly offset 0 columns to replace the match function. Next, the SKU weight. It is using the main format of formulas that are being used for most of the columns. First, we have the array formula function for an array of results. Then the if function to check if the B11 to B999 is not empty. Then something will happen. That something is a VLOOKUP function. Now, normally when we use VLOOKUP, we select a big array of values. The VLOOKUP will look for a value in the first column and return the value in the specific column of the third argument. In Google Sheets, there's a trick of curly brackets to design your own array of values inside the formula. It's like an imaginary table of values. In other words, I can put the order IDs column first, then the specific column second inside the curly bracket, and ask the VLOOKUP to look for the second column, 0 for not sorted. To design the curly brackets array, I use the offset match function. The first column of the imaginary table is the order IDs, so we can use the offset match function to look for order ID, or simply offset 0 column, M5 number of rows and 1 column of size. The second column of the imaginary table is the column that holds the value that we want. In this first example is the SKU weight. So in the offset match function, we look for the column header of SKU total weight. In the header row of A1 to BZ1, 0 for exact match. -1 as we are offsetting from the first column. M5 number of rows and 1 column of size. And that's the format of the formula used in most of the columns. We can change the lookup value in the second match function to change the specific column. For example, we change to estimated shipping fee for the shipping fee column. The rest of the columns can be obtained with this format of formula. The offset match function is also used in the helper columns to get the exact columns of values for order IDs and item price. Just change the lookup value in the match function. The item total is a simple one. Array formula. If B11 to B999 is not empty, sum if these order IDs are the same as the order IDs here, and sum the item price. Return empty if false. Next is the fees calculations. We first look at the transaction fee as it is much simpler. Array formula. If B11 to B999 is not empty, get the total paid from J11 to J999 times the transaction fee percentage and 1 plus SST percentage. Then we round up to 2 decimal points. Then in the service fee, it is almost the same. We just change the total paid range to item total range of I11 to I999 minus seller voucher range of G11 to G999 times service fee percentage and 1 plus SST percentage, round to 2 decimal points. And then we come to the commission fee. If you are with me just now in the Excel version, we need to check if the order is an SIP order. We can reuse the service fee calculation formula, change the percentage to commission fee percentage. Then add an if function to check if the username is not Ecommerce Trading before carrying out the calculation, or else return empty. To get the username column, we use the VLOOKUP function and design an imaginary table like we did for other columns. This time, we use the lookup for the column header of username bracket buyer. And that finishes the fees calculations. Let's continue to fees checking. Array formula. Then nested if functions to compare the calculated fees and the amount charged by Shopee. Return 1 if there is a difference. Since we have the indicator for order IDs with fee error, use the filter function to filter out all the required order IDs. For the visual aid of conditional formatting, this is the list that I used. Pause the video if you would like to analyze them. We have come to the end of the video. I hope I made it clear enough for you to follow along in this video. If you have questions, comment down below and I will reply. If this video and this template helped you in one way or another, please give this video a like and share it to your friends that are selling on Shopee. Subscribe to my channel. I will make more tip videos and spreadsheet templates to help you manage e-commerce business. See you in the next one.